Hi everyone, thanks so much for coming out to this event. We really appreciate it. Just some housekeeping before we start. If you didn't already, your vouchers and your books are downstairs. Feel free to grab them whenever you have a chance. We're going to just lead off straight into the event. If you have any questions, they should be later tonight, so just keep them in your head until then. There will be a signing at the end of this. You can't see it, but we promise there's a table and books back there. After that, if you haven't got a book already, they will be downstairs. Please don't take them from the ones that are going to be up here. And yeah, for those who don't know, Elias Rønnenfelt is a Danish musician. He is the lead singer and lyricist for Ice Age, Marching Church, Bar, and various other musical projects and collaborations. Sunken Heights is his first book. Please give a round of applause.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's the first time I make a book, and I'm a little bit nervous. It's the second time I ever read for people, and the first time I was in the living room. This feels a bit more formal, but I'm really glad you're here. You know? So I'm just gonna read some of this book for you. The time has come to spurt across the water as the air circulates through the inner. A respiration that only ever sucks and never exhales. The balloon constantly expanded but never burst. Blow into the embers, swirl them into their eyes. The urge to let our surroundings erode into new landscapes. We're going to explode into new people. And we're going to fall and cram into massive heaps. Our faces more muddly, eyes more bloodshot, our features exaggerated. Caricatures of our former selves, chronically inebriated, glassy eyes pointing with pupils. Nothing can stand still anymore. Everything will be gently flowing. Floors will no longer stand still. Joints that used to bend one way now bend in several. If you jump, it will take longer before you hit the ground. Sometimes so long that you regret having taken the leap while still hanging in it. You're beautiful when you're painting in the air. Your hair flows as if underwater. Your skin glows like a piece of silken fabric over a light bulb. Now, language is constantly mutating sounds. I can see the words flowing out the mouth and through the room like jellyish mother-of-pearl glowing clouds of fume. I do not hear your words through my ear canals, I feel them against my skin. I forgot how to do anything but observe. Every known action activates an unforeseen muscle and function. All movements drawn out into a rhythmless dance. Pollinate the night blooming flora. No movement dares to change direction, because here everything is a continuation. Take my hand, and like heat-seeking flies, we must float towards the light until everything is blinded. That one was called 11. This one is 15. The woman's aging face on her way home, among the crowd, suggests a life of accepted regret. Burden has made her gaze more beautiful than it once was. There is an inherent calm among those who have made it through. When it rains, you do not break out the umbrella, you straighten your back. "19. Pouring sugar into the tea until it's no longer liquid. 25. It's time to lay your head on the grass, to fall in and out of restless sleep, to be chased by the sun whose gradual arc shines in your refuge until you must search for new hiding places. It's time to sit still and let the world's orbit revolve around you before you're thrown back into rotation. To listen to the flitting voices, let their words melt into meaningless sounds that disappear into the distance. It is time for the wind to whisper muttered secrets in your ears, touching bare skin in the lightly blown influx. For the shadows to form spaces, temporary areas in an oil-laden air. It is time to let minutes pass irregularly. Robbed from form and mathematical scale, they are at one at the same time fluid and stagnant. To let leaves sway and shake at individual pace, while meekly stating that everything is alive and that all lungs are breathing just like yours. It's time for the colors to rest on their surfaces in silky hues from the deepest darkness to a glimmering argent light. To listen to the call of birds flying above you, they sing in riddles that concern only themselves. "27. This one rhymes. At the steps of a measly cinema, this feeble man arrives. Slowly dragged, forgotten steps, a plot that's gone awry. Forebearers of much great acclaim might never live to see the offspring of their wasted wealth, a deluded, pickled son. Property once built by hands, still standing to this day, standing as it ever did, now left to sure decay. Early drunk, with dotted eyes and senses ill at ease, fat fingers sliding in and out of pockets, fumbling for his keys. Some never grasped the notion of what it means to earn, yet think the honor of a mother entrusts to them at turn. You hired and you fired too, with power to assign. Mistook prosperity for all here at the end of your line. I wonder, does he ever note the dolefulness of which he reeks, proclaiming as a charlatan, yet stumbling on his feet. Goodbyes are always difficult when loneliness awaits, limping after company, hindered by your weight. Harmless lies, thin alibis weaved into stories told. Some lose track of truth and fantasy when they think they've broken the mold. "30. I no longer wish to be loved, not until I'm ready. Not until I'm awakened by the road workers' cranes. I threw myself into the arms of the world, now I just nod in recognition. Often I forget that there's enough time to drop out, that outside the hurricane's eye, there's no actual hurricane at all. Pictures hung in frames before my time started here on earth. Everywhere there's remains from the lives before mine, large and little imprints, Often the head is knocked into sleep, but tonight it lies waiting for me like a dear old friend. I'm going to stroll down deserted alleys to greet it, take each other by the hand and journey into tomorrow. In cohesion, the fatigue is an embrace. At home there is a hanger that misses my jacket. Suspended on starting blocks, ready to be shot into a crooked Mandarin barrel with open claws. We haven't yet moved out on the last crusade. More havoc must be carried out in the name of disruption. All blades must be sharpened, for reality must bleed with open wounds. Many have not yet witnessed that the stove can be turned out much higher. A grater to the city's skin. Let's see the bare flesh beneath its surface. It must be sullied before we can sanitize. Some truths hurt in order to set free. Let's see how the real pains writhe when the bandages prematurely are torn off. You have to remove the safety net to truly feel the leap. Faith gives wings. Here, where reason is insufficient, if one reaches toward the misty heights of heaven. Be my wings, bursting and bearing, tumbling through the weather's vacuum. Whether there's clear trajectory or if adversary objects are shifting towards us. Your feathers long and dense enough to withstand most things. Be my wings, when you've carried us long enough, I'll take over and become yours. When the hunters shoot from below, we'll fly up higher. Continues flapping unrestrained appendage. Higher up where one can still be without being found. Red drops falling toward the ground. Sift by, migrate to a where, becoming ours. Be my wings, now that they're tired and worn. I will carry them on my back, the tips trailing along the ground. In the sanctuary, I will wash them in the lake, kiss every feather, right up until we are ready to ascend towards the open skies again. (36) An outstretched arm with palm open toward the night sky, ready to catch the quarter moon if it should fall down. Circles of men sing into the evening, accompanied by accordions and stringed instruments, pre-washed football jerseys. Like the towering pinnacles of the mosques, everything points upward while the multitudes continue down here. The girl with the blue contact lenses is crying because a friend ran away without cocaine. Later, far prettier eyes appeared hidden behind the false blue. I chased a voice coming from an open window from floors above. Found her bathed in red light. She sang for clapping women wearing their prettiest dresses. Old songs whose meaning I could only guess at. Wandered up endless steps toward a peak I still haven't found. Fates are painted in the faces flowing by. We are as ownerless as the free animals that live in the streets. Ferries between continents separate our close-range bodies across the Bosphorus Strait. Waking up every morning to discover that the day started and continued before and regardless of myself. Bodies tied to buildings with ropes of celery. With long cumbersome steps, an old man clings to a walker as it rolls down the uneven cobblestones. I count myself lucky that my steps are still effortless. The prayers will resound across the city for us all. The dog that used to follow me through these streets must be dead now. I hope to have passed its offspring. Loosely bound fabric covering dilapidated gables, swinging like torn flags in the still wind. Imprint impregnated sheets. Every touch leaves a trace. The window, an outlook as well as a reflection. Fleeing out of windows, dangling above the side down. Suspended between distant laughter is crowding itself in wordless frames. The collected whole seems to collapse under my mattress. Plastic water slides broken like a river down my throat. Her prescription has put my body in a state of shock over the advent of something unknown. Stationary, it is as if the distance between me and the ocean becomes shorter per drawn breath. If only one seagull's... Huh? It's a fucking spelling mistake in here. If only one of this... we good. If only one of the seagulls would land on the open windows sill and utter its one awful sound, I would finally be able to translate its primal calling, look into its dead spherical eyes, relate in our common reptile compulsion. If I wait next to nothing, I would climb along the plants crawling up the outer walls of the houses. Up to the roofs, and in an open fall descend like a leaf toward the ground. Kiss the swollen lips of this whole city. An absorption of meaning, rising up via fleeting gossip. In a hovering motion, I ride across public squares, flushed the remaining drugs down the toilet. Not even the dog seems interested in my presence, nor am I in need of its own. Young children can utter sounds like rabid animals, an ability we later lose. It does not hurt to be beaten or trampled on. Even the worst outcome is not all that bad. And all the saliva and secretions I swallowed must be digested by now. Flesh that fell across my own is now again foreign and distant. As in a fevered dream that unfolded a long time ago. Devoted openings of desire, at once predator and prey, set loose, grasping to memories as if still fresh, letting go from the inner embrace with the moon in my hand. The rain has come to cleanse me, sullied through my parades and processions, swollen in that which grows like crops. The world is named after what lies beneath our feet, earth. Here the drops have come to fall, like the clapping hands of an audience. Here there's more life than I can swallow, so I run with the water along the curbside. For lack of better than lacking. So soaked it cannot get any wetter. The car's headlights repeat themselves on the asphalt in short-lived mirrors, those who cannot shatter. "44. Paddling with oars planted in the rocking river of conversion. Seeds planted on tongues explode like fireworks shot through the central nervous system, until thought and language were dissolved like effervescent tablets in the tap water of reality. With 100 horses galloping through the chest in a smeared mess searching for contact. Overheated cylinders splash with wrong fuels until the unit boils over. Coal is continuously shoveled into the flaming furnace, burning across the landscapes of tomorrow. fingers braided in all directions while the speed increases, until the fire dancing on the coal turned to glistening embers that sparkle like the starry sky that already ceased to be. The strokes of the oars have almost led us home. Hold on a little longer. Sleep will come someday. A rebirth is on its way. And then I want to read one last one in Danish, which is, you're not going to understand that, but most of the poems were written in Danish. Solen er tilbage, maler med skygger gennem det dalende lys. Den slags, der er gylden og orange på bagsiden af mine øjenlåg. Venter på, at du kommer hjem og lyser stuen op for mig, når mørket er faldet på. Næsten ligeglad med, hvad du har lavet, men jeg glæder mig til at høre om det. For jeg elsker at høre dig fortælle. Og jeg elsker at se dig stråle, som du jo altid gør. Selv igennem dine tårer. I'm gonna play a song for you, if that's okay. Fry in an oil well, pumped up from the dunes. There's a wealth of digging done these days, from the ground up towards the moon. Down there you were dwelling, honey, hiding from the world. So now, just like an angel, you beseech me with your charms. I've done nothing to parrot right into your arms. Why don't you realize how I'm warmer than the stars. Take the temperature as it's falling and rising in us. Our metric is overrun. Lay down my crown in your favor, sugar. Planet in the dirt. So now, just like an angel, you beseech me in charms. And oh, good and gracious, I've done nothing to parrot right into your arms. Why don't you realize how I'm so now? Just like an angel, you beseech me And thanks for being here. Thanks to Anthology for putting it out, and Elizabeth who made it look like it does and did the artwork, which is I'm really happy to put this into the world, and I'm glad that you're here. Ciao.
So yeah, if you haven't collected your book, they're downstairs. Just go pay for them downstairs and bring them back up. We'll rearrange all this and there'll be a signing in a little bit. If you have a voucher, the one rule is you have to use it tonight. So if you want to get a book, and a drink for yourself, and a drink for the author, and a book for the author, totally support that. But other than that, thank you so much. That was beautiful, and thank you all for coming.